What up, PB Cashewville? It's your boy PB, and right next to me is your boy Cashew, and today we're going to be discussing
counting the cost. Hit it. What's up, PB Cashewville? It's your boy Cashew, and right beside me is your boy PB.
What's up, everybody?
How you doing, PB?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing.
How you doing?
Oh no, we're talking about Joey from Friends over here.
Hey! Oh shoot, the thing shook.
You're going crazy right now, aren't you?
No, actually, this is one of the major needs of our humble little production. Is we need a good desk.
That's true.
Because this desk that we have, it's super cramped, but I have a few ideas of which one. I saw some things on Amazon that can really, really help us out. So hopefully we will have something like that really soon.
We actually have a few ideas of what we can do with the background. You know,
yeah.
It's plain, and it's just like,
It's Grogu, like, perched in his tower of books and my little koala on top of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And my Rangers hoodie in the back.
So we might have different backgrounds, but not only that, it's just like I said, it's just plain.
I know, it's plain. Plain.
I know people like to see sometimes color and see other things,
Some people have suggested that we get a green screen. What do you think of that?
How much is a green screen?
A lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we can pretend that we're in Hawaii, though.
I know, it's a cool. You know who actually has a green screen? My cousin Phil has a green screen. He showed it to me, and it is really good. I mean, I think when I go to South Carolina in October, I will show you his setup. It is really good.
You gotta show me the setup, yeah.
It's like what I would envision our setup to be. The only thing is we don't have the money for it. Just yet.
Yeah, you know how much a studio costs? It costs a lot to just
Yeah, I know, it does. I was hoping to maybe just change where we are right now into like a full-fledged studio so we can just do our PB Cashew stuff.
But would this still be your room, though?
I don't know, because like we still need this space for like...
What about the basement?
The thing about the basement, the only thing I don't like about it is I don't know if the acoustics are really good in the basement. And plus, what I love about here is the natural light that we have.
That's true.
I love the natural light for it. It's well lit. We don't need like those little lamps and stuff like that.
Now we're having random conversations because that's how we are.
But it's actually, now I'm just thinking about it, it's actually tied to what we're talking about, counting the cost like now. Like, when we're making these particular decisions, we can't make the decisions or we can't pull the trigger on it because we're counting the cost.
Money.
Because I think that's one of the major problems that we as Christians and as people have today. We never consider the costs of things anymore. Like, for example, we are getting a little edgier. During the time when like Bernie Sanders was about to get was applying for candidacy for presidency, a lot of people were voting for him wanted to vote for him because they thought that he'd make college education free. Would you agree with that statement or no?
That he did. I mean, at that time I was still like in the teenage years, I believe. How old was I? When was he trying to go? In 2014, right?
Somewhere around
that
there.
Time. So yeah, I was like coming out of high school.
So you'd be like, oh yeah. I don't want to pay for college.
College for free. That sounds good.
But then one of our teenagers at the time had mentioned this when we were in the van, and I said, "Who is it going to be free for?" Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be free for me, but it's going to cost somebody something.
It's going to cost the teachers.
Not just the teachers.
It's going to cost actually the school too, right?
And where's all that money going to be coming from?
Taxes.
And so who's paying the taxes?
All of us.
So is it really free?
No.
See, it's these kinds of things that I think nowadays, especially probably with the younger generation, is that we are not counting the cost. We're not counting the cost. Like, why sometimes we're not fully appreciative of Memorial Day. We're not fully appreciative of what people have done in the past. I think because there is a lack of that, That's why that's why kids nowadays, that's why young adults and adults nowadays feel like they're entitled because they don't count the cost. Like, for example, let's put this in sports perspectives.
Hey, sports perspective. Let's go.
Give me an example, Matt, of counting the cost in a sports perspective.
Oh, we could talk about what with the Knicks.
Yeah,
we could talk about with the Cavs. We could talk about trades. Like,
why?
I'll give you a good example. Like, for example,
why is the Donovan Mitchell trade not working? Why did it not work?
Because so basically, let me explain it. So the Donovan Mitchell trade, we were offering a lot, and that would have cost us a lot. Donovan Mitchell he's a star. He's a star. He's a star player. Is he a superstar? Not yet, but they wanted so much. And were we really risking to count that much, like, cost for it? They wanted, like, 7 draft picks. They wanted, like, so many things. We offered them R.J. Barrett, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, 3 unprotected first-round picks, and that wasn't even good enough. They wanted more. So, and then, like, would we really want to make that cost? Like,
right.
Waste our...
The more, like, in that particular scenario, how people are thinking would have been just like, I don't care, make the trade.
But then how would the next be?
But that's the thing. You could say that's how it is.
And they could say, and people could say, then this is me being honest, people could say, oh, well, they could do this in free agency. There's not that many more free agents that are really that good out there. Most of the free agents are old.
Right. But I'm just trying to tie this back to the topic. It's in terms of it is that's how most people think. Most people will think without trying to consider the costs of certain things, the things that you're going to forfeit, the things that you're going to suffer from. That kind of living is a very reckless way of living, and I believe that's how we live our day to day. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, people just like see something, or even they think that's going to be good for their future at first. They don't understand the backside of it. Like they could. Okay, I'll give you a good example. Let's see. An example is like college.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what college you go to. People might say, "Oh, well, I don't want to go to college," or people say, "I want to go to college." Well, you gotta choose what college you want to go to. Now, do you want to go to a college? And this is where I was at, where it's not that is not credited, it's unaccredited, or a college that is credited, where you can get financial aid and get help with that type of stuff. Well, if you go to a non-credited college, you have to pay off your pocket yourself, and you have to do more. And that's like that makes you count. Like at first you're thinking that's fine, but then you realize it's not fine because then you had to get a job, you had to pay your own bills. I'm talking about other bills too. We're talking about phone bills.
This is the
credit card bills.
This is the unaccredited.
Like an unaccredited school. You have to pay out your pocket. And if you go to a credit school, you might say, well, it's more. Well, you can still pay, but there's scholarships for uncredited credit schools.
But is it full? Does everybody get a full ride?
You could do financial aid. You could start off financial aid and save up money. That's what I'm trying to say.
So does everybody get financial aid?
Not everybody gets financial aid. Not everybody's gonna get financial aid. I guess it all depends on how much.
Like 100% financial aid?
It all depends on how much you make. Well, when I went to community college, I got 100% financial aid.
Does everybody get that?
I just literally said not everyone gets that.
That's the thing. A lot of times people always make the assumption that everybody is going to get their college paid for it.
No, no one's gonna. Not everyone's gonna get their college paid for it.
It's not like that. Now, look, like I know many of you are probably going into your senior years now, and you probably have your plans for college. And I'm not trying to dissuade you of any of that, but I think the most important thing is that we're trying to say here is that you've got to consider the cost.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say go to college.
Why?
I'd rather go. I'm just saying, just go to college. Do 1 year of college.
In this day and age,
you could do 1 year of college.
So you mean to tell me that you're gonna make me spend $40,000?
If you're doing 1 year, you're not gonna be paying $40,000.
Yes, you are.
1 year. What college are you going to?
Look at most
community college.
Look at most colleges now. Like the cost of college now is going so up now. Yeah, if you're going to community college, like, okay, it depends on how much you make. Like, let's say that your parents do make a lot of money, but then they're still being taxed like crazy. Is that person going to get to go there for free? No.
I just think some people, if you're thinking about going to college, I'll say go to college.
It's not that I'm not saying not to go to college, but you've got, as I'm saying, you've got to consider the cost.
I get that you have to consider cost, but I also think you should still go to college. Don't go to college if you don't have the money. That's what I'm saying. Don't go to college if you don't have the money.
That's what I mean by considering.
But if you have the money, then go to college.
Then go to college. Of course, go to college. But not everybody has that situation. And not everybody is thinking that same way. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go to college. And then I'm going to take out all of these student loans.
Yeah, one thing. Do not do loans. And the reason why I say don't do loans is because it sounds good at first, but then if you get in debt, you're in trouble.
That's the thing. People don't consider that. That's what I'm talking about, considering the cost. When you're making these particular decisions, you're not considering these costs. I would love it if for everybody to go to college, but in most situations, it's not like that. It's going to cost you something. And you have to take in consideration if you're willing to pay that particular cost. How do I know this particular thing? Because I've gone through it. I'm still paying, at least, I still have, unless this loan forgiveness that everybody's like hooting and hollering about goes through, I still got about $18,000 that I still need to pay. Now that's like, oh wow, that's big debt. It's like that's actually like not that bad. But there's some folks that made the same kind of decision that are paying $40,000, and you can, yeah, I'd love for everybody to go to college, but not everybody may have the resources to go to college.
My best bet is for people who are, if you're planning on going to college, I don't like saying this to people, but like if you do plan to go to college and you want to go to college, but you don't have the money for it, and let's say you're a senior, my best bet, or what I would tell you, if I could give you advice, is just find a job, give it one more year, get a job, save up, and boom, go to the college you want to go to. Or if they have scholarships and you can try to get into a scholarship, try to do that. If you could try to get a financial aid, try to do that. But you do gotta understand this. You might not get the full financial aid, the financial help.
You're not. Not everybody.
Or you could go to trademark school.
You could go to, trade schools, honestly, in my opinion right now, I think are probably a better option because, like, it costs less. You're receiving training while you're there, and you come out of it a lot less to debt. There's one person that I know of. Like, instead of going to college, he went to a trade school, and now he works for as a mechanic, and he has no debt. So that means that most of the things that the guy makes, he keeps for himself. He doesn't have to pay City May. He doesn't have to pay Sally Mae. He doesn't have to pay all of these other places. And again, he's somebody that considered the cost. You know, like, I went to college for 4 years, secular college for 4 years. And you know what? Do I regret it? Not at all, because there were a lot of great experiences. I learned a lot of things, and who I am today got defined by that. But now I am encumbered, meaning that I've got this burden of this debt that I probably could have availed myself of. But I made that decision without really counting the cost. And I believe that a lot of our young people today are making those kinds of decisions. You've got to be a lot smarter in terms of that, because again, 4 years goes by very quickly. And would you much rather have 4 years under your belt debt free, or 4 years under your belt and then all of a sudden you're spending your whole life trying to pay this loan back? I'll give you one example.
Debt free, bro.
Huh?
I want to be debt free.
I always want to be debt free, but how about not have the debt at all, or have the right kind of debt? Like, if you gave to me the option of having $40,000 in student loan debt versus $40,000 as like mortgage, I go for the mortgage, because at least I know that's gonna come back to me later on. And I'm not a real estate expert. We know a lot of real estate experts, and they probably know that about better. That there are certain things that are good debt, but I think when you were in high school, when I was in high school, we weren't really educated on stuff like that. But nowadays, you can educate yourself like this. And making yourself more educated allows you to be able to see the costs a little bit more. And because of that, you'll be able to make better decisions later on. And you're not going to have all of these pressures. Like, for example, when I was a dorm soup at Hyles Anderson, my door was always open, and I always gave counseling to a lot of people. And then one of them came and he said, I'm thinking about dropping out of Bible college so I can go to secular college. He goes, how are you going to pay for secular college? He's like, I'll figure that out. And I said, okay. So I gave him this scenario. I said, what can $40,000 get you? And so I said, what can that get you? He said, car, a down payment on a house, and or something to maybe help save for your future. And then I said, then stay here, because he's already making excellent money, paying his way. He's not on any financial list, and he's saving a ton of money. And he said, if you go to a secular school later on, if you don't have fully covered by financial aid and scholarships, you're going to have that $40,000 be a debt and a burden to you, rather than have $40,000 in the bank that you can use for your own particular uses. See, a lot of people my age are in these situations because we didn't count the cost. We didn't count the cost. I did not count the cost. I'm willing to admit that I did not count the cost when I made the decision to go to college. Like, if I wanted to go there, I should have commuted. It has saved me like a ton of money. Or could have gone to community college, as you said. But again, it still would have cost me something. My mom tried to convince me to go into nursing back in the day, because at least in nursing, you're getting training and you're also getting paid at the same time. When you're just going for college, it's like you're just paying to learn. So that's the thing. Look at how like a lot of people make decisions nowadays. It's like on a whim. Nobody counts the costs anymore.
I do feel like, though, like, and me personally, like, because I've been noticing this a lot lately with myself. It's like pretty soon, like, people are just gonna realize that they could just learn it themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
They could just self-learn themselves.
All of you out there, forgive me for quoting this. I'm not gonna say the movie, but there was a quotation where it's like, you know what? The difference between you and me is I got an education worth of $2 of library fines, where you had to spend like $40,000 on your degree. Because it's so true. It's like we live in a day and age where I believe that you could probably find these things out for yourself. You could take online classes. You could go to the library. You could read books to kind of get these things. What impresses me is like a lot of preachers were like that. A lot of those preachers that we know of didn't have like this super formal education. One preacher, he was telling us how he learned was he had the Bible, one concordance, and his desk was his wife's ironing board. And he spent just him, the Lord, doing that. So at the end of it, he didn't have debt. He didn't have to be placed on financial withdrawal lists. He didn't have to do all these things, but he got the education that he needed. You know why? Because he counted the cost. And I think that's the thing nowadays. Like, I count. Sometimes you'll eventually count the cost, but sometimes it's too late. I'll give you a great example. I no longer play PlayStation, primarily because I spend way too much time on it. And if you look like, and I'm not preaching against PlayStation or anything like that. If you asked me to play Call of Duty with you, I play Call of Duty with you. If you want someone very easy to beat at 2K, that's me. And Matthew's got some.
My bad. I don't know.
Matthew did not count the cost of going to Chick-fil-A today because his stomach's growling. But anyways, like, I'm not preaching on that, because I know everybody. I'm not preaching against those particular video games or anything like that.
Better not be preaching against video games.
But for me, I counted the cost. When I took a look at how much in terms of subscriptions that I had, games that I had purchased, systems and accessories, it was close to almost like $5,000.
Woo!
$5,000. Because I was not counting the cost. If something came out that day and then the deluxe edition was available, I didn't care. It was like deluxe edition. I got the job, got the money, paid for it. But then you're spending all of this particular time with it, and it's not really giving you any particular returns. That's why I like our podcast. Our podcast We spend how much?
I don't know.
See, we don't even know.
We don't know how much we spend.
We spend approximately, with all of our different subscriptions for Buzzsprout and for
Soundtrack. Use it for the beats.
It's roughly $25 a month. And you know what? We're not even selling anything, but the benefits is there's people that are encouraged. People are laugh. That's a great reward for it.
We don't even count the website that we don't even use no more.
We don't even use no more.
We didn't count the mics and stuff.
Yeah. But on a month to month basis, that has a greater reward to us. You know, that makes sense. I'd much rather spend $25 a month and provide you some sort of encouragement. And there's a beeping outside. Some sort of encouragement rather than me spending $99 on a deluxe edition game that I'll probably play for 3 months and never play again.
Dang, you're ripping me right now.
Oh, sorry.
You're ripping me right now.
But Matt, that's ripping on all of us. Because that's me. I remember when some games came out, it's like, let me get the deluxe edition. Let me pay for all of the DLCs, and it's $100, and I didn't care because it's like, oh, it's fun. It's just, what's it gonna cost anyway? It's just $100. It's just $100. That's what. That's just a couple. That's like 10. That's like a day's of work. That's not too bad.
You should have done what I do. I mostly do is, if I really want a game, if I really want a video game, right, then I'll pay that money, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say I wanted a game and I could find that game, I look for discounts. I look for sales. That's what I mostly do to get my games.
And what is that called, Matt?
Well, I know you're paying money, but it's
no. But
counting the cost.
It's counting the cost.
That's what I mostly do. Okay, like I say, I got the new 2K23. Mm-hmm. I paid for the championship edition because it comes with a league pass and everything like that. Mm-hmm. That was $150. I'm not gonna lie. And it comes with a league pass. I thought that was crazy. I thought that was a steal because the league pass costs NBA league pass does cost a lot.
Oh wait, you get NBA league pass?
For 12 months you get NBA league pass.
Oh, that's.
So I thought that was like, yeah, it costs a lot. You play, oh, that's a lot.
But the long term.
But I got NBA League Pass, which if you have, there's like different tiers to it. One of them costs like $250. I think that's like if you want to do 30 teams. You could do one for like, I think like $50 or something. That's like just one team, you know.
Yeah,
team.
So
that's good. But what I mostly do when I buy video games, I'm gonna pre-order a couple more because there's some games I actually want. Mm-hmm. But let's say if I want a game, okay, I'll give you a good example. Assassin's Creed, right? I got a deal for all the Assassin's Creed. Mm-hmm. That was like almost. The original price was like $200.
Yeah,
I got it like for $40 to $50.
For $40-$50, that's counting the cost.
I got that, and that's like
counting the cost.
Assassin's Creed 4, I think 5, 6. I can't remember. It was like I'm like, that's a good deal, right?
See, I never did that. When I was on PlayStation, I never did that. Like I had the memberships and everything, and what's so stupid was that the game that I would pay $70 for, a few months later. It's a free game. I think on your PlayStation Network. That's the thing. It's like I think not only when we count the cost, we're not only impulsive, we're also very impatient.
I think I did that with NBA 2K22 too, actually, because I didn't got it as soon as it came out.
Yeah, it's like
I think I got it for
very impulsive and impatient.
Because I know they always, every time when they do like an All-Star and they do like the playoffs, they always give deals to 2K. So I know that.
Yeah.
So like that's why okay. If you're playing video games. If you like to play video games, and let's say you want a game, sometimes a new game too, sometimes will be in a discount. It won't be that much. It'll probably be like a 10% discount, 15% discount. But always go, and I'm saying Microsoft has some good deals in the Xbox.
Steam too, actually.
Go to your discount. Check the discount sales. And see. Right. They always have a summer sale. They always have a winter sale. That's how I mostly get my games. And then, like I say, if I really want a game, that's when I'll put the money into it. I'm like, okay, I'll buy this game.
You want to know another place where counting the cost is very, very important?
Where?
Oh. What's something
Mac Daddies?
Not only Mac Daddies.
I love Mac Daddies.
I love Mac Daddies too. We're probably going there today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. Might be going on a whim. It's like, you know what? I just want to go get some Mac Daddies.
So where?
It is eating out.
I spent too much eating out. I'm not going to lie about that.
let me give you a scenario. Let's say you go to Longhorns or a steakhouse. How much would you pay for a steak?
A steak there is probably like $18 to $20.
20. Probably $20. How much would 4 or 5 porterhouse steaks cost if you, let's say, went to Costco?
Probably around
$20.
20.
So if you go to a steakhouse, right, you're going to pay $20. $20. Okay. And I'm preaching to myself here because I love steak. I love steak. I really do.
Yeah, but it makes okay, but they probably get really really good steak. Most restaurants have to get the best products.
You have access to the same exact product.
I don't.
But
do you have access?
You do. You do. You do. You can go to Costco right now. Costco right now, and with the right training and with the right skills, you can make the same exact steak that you would get at a restaurant, if not better. And you know how you paid for it? Instead of paying $20 for one steak, you've paid maybe $3 or $4 for the same exact steak, made the way that you want.
Because I know some restaurants, it's like the same thing with like a seafood restaurant. Seafood restaurant, they want to get the best product. So lobster and crab, that costs a lot, but they want the best products.
Yeah, but you could buy that same lobster. You go to Red Lobster.
You want to spend a lot for a lobster though, because a lobster costs so much.
But it's so much cheaper if you go buy it yourself.
I'm talking about the best product lobster. Lobster costs a lot just to get. I don't know specifically the price, but I know lobster is expensive.
It's like
we could look it up. I'll look it up. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll look up how much lobster costs.
But if you went to Red Lobster, right, and you bought that lobster dinner, then you got to pay for tip, you got to pay for drinks, you got to pay for appetizer. It's going to be like around $30. But if you go market price, you could probably get 3 lobsters for that same amount of price. Okay. Depending on where you go.
Average lobster's price per pound, $35 to $120.
That's pretty freaking expensive.
Yeah, exactly. As I was saying, lobster is expensive, so like that. Okay, you're getting that one. If you're going, that's why they get the best product. That's why I'm saying like it all depends on what the product is, because you might get a good steak, but their steak could be a different product.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like
not all steak tastes the same.
Of course not, right?
Not all chicken tastes the same.
But again, in terms of that's another counting the cost scenario, though. We never count that cost in terms of that because we're lazy. Because let's admit it, we're lazy.
All right, but let me put you in this scenario, right? Let me put this scenario for you. If you get the best product chicken, right? Best product chicken, and it's $20, right? $20, and then you get the product chicken that you know is not good, but it's $10. Which one do you choose?
Wait, best product chicken
for $20
from a place that makes it.
Yeah.
So
$20.
So is it guaranteed?
Yeah, it's the same.
It's absolutely guaranteed. Like I see you actually going and taking said chicken and like freshly taking.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
So, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
And of course you're going to go for that one.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. How do you know then when you go to a restaurant that it is the guaranteed one?
What, guaranteed?
Let's say
most restaurants, a lot of restaurants, and most restaurants actually, they have to make sure that they make their food fresh.
Really?
We're not talking about fast food here.
So you mean to tell me that a lot of people are like always getting the best cuts of everything?
I'm okay. Why do you think it takes a while for us to get, when we go to a restaurant, we sit down, why does it take a while to get the food? Because they're actually making the food.
Yeah, they're actually making the food, but you doing the exact same things, you save that particular time to do it. You go to Longhorns, right? When I went for my birthday, Longhorns, I got a porterhouse, 12-ounce porterhouse for $23. But then I could have gone.
Well, how much? You also understand. It also depends on how much. You understand something. Yeah, it costs also expense of not only the steak, other things they get, how much it costs to ship it sometimes and bring it to you. That's why it costs more in the restaurant. They need to make the revenue.
So then, why go to the restaurant?
Plus, why then?
This is what I'm trying to say. Why then go to the restaurant if you can go to the place and make it yourself for a much cheaper price?
People like to eat out.
Well, but again, but why do not people consider the cost?
Because, like I said, people like to sit out. That's how it is.
So then, why are people eating out all the time then? You could be.
I mean, we can't talk. When we want to go out and eat, we go.
I know, of course, we like to.
Like, yeah, let's go to KFC.
But how much? But I also. It's not that I don't like to eat out, but I do think about that though. Like, even just in chicken, I'll go with chicken. You want to talk chicken? Let's talk chicken. You go to KFC and you buy like 8 pieces of chicken. How much is that going to cost you? $15.
$15?
$15 for 8 pieces of chicken. You can go to Stop and Shop or ShopRite and you can get 8 pieces of chicken for half the price. And it tastes just as good.
Yeah.
See, it's like that's what I'm talking about. It's like we don't count the cost, and because we don't count the cost, we make poor decisions. We make poor decisions in terms of the things that we do. We make poor decisions in how we shop for food and how we eat. We make poor decisions in how we on the stuff that we buy, the things that even amuse us. Like, for example, if you have a Disney subscription and you know that a movie is coming out later on and it's already part of your subscription, why are you still going to go spend and see it?
So people won't spoil it.
So people won't spoil. Oh wow, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo.
Whoopty. Dude, I don't like when people spoil movies.
Woo. And then so I'm going to spend $13 or $15 or $20 just so that I don't get stuff spoiled over. But
there's nothing wrong with that, though. Like, now, okay, I'm not saying you're nitpicking a little bit here and there.
Oh, I'm nitpicking. Nitpick.
You're nitpicking a little bit here and there. Because you're like, I don't know. I just feel like, okay, there's some things I get. Like movie theaters, I'm going to say is people like to go to movie theaters to hang out and hang out with friends, eat popcorn, stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Chicken fingers.
There's nothing wrong with that. If you're counting the cost to hang out with people, okay, I feel like there's.
But that's an
wrong.
Experience. That's an experience, though, man. I agree with that. But like, let's say if like you could have the same experience without having to spend that much.
But not everybody's like that. There are people that go to movie theaters once in a while to watch the movie. Like, I like to go to movie theaters. I like to go to movie. I like to go to movie theaters when a movie comes out that I want to see, and I don't. That's it. And then if I know I have, Star, if I have HBO Max, and I know I can watch other movies, I'll watch that.
Right. But then you didn't have to go to the movie theater to watch it.
Well, not all movies go to streaming devices.
But it's like, again, we don't mean to be like super like.
No, I'm not super nitpicky. This I don't hear super nitpicky.
But think about it though. That's the thing. That's what we're also trying to do now. It's like try to make you think about certain things, because again, the focus of this is really just to count the cost, because it's something that we don't think about. Now, does this mean that you swear off these things? We're not saying that either. We're just saying to definitely think. Like that guy with the memes. Like yeah, you gotta.
Isn't that Eddie Murphy?
I thought it was like a basketball player.
You talking about I thought that was Eddie Murphy with the mustache. He's like,
yeah, but I think that's the thing that.
Or are you thinking about the Nick Young one when he's like, and he had the question marks all over him?
Oh, that's Nick Young, yeah. But that could also work too, But I think that's what we're just trying to do, because this is the verse. It says in Luke 14:28, which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish. What we're saying here is that just take it in consideration. Think about these things before you make these decisions. Like, we can't stop everybody from doing what they do. We're not that kind of... We're trying to just give you some things to think about. Because, again, the repercussions of not counting the cost can be pretty serious, especially with certain decisions, like college, like what we discussed earlier today. That you could be... There's so many different things that because you didn't count the cost, that could be something that could be very, very fatal. I think that's also even in relationships, like not having particular standards in relationships, or trying to think about, the people and that you run with and you roll with, because again, not that's also counting the cost too. It's like, is me hanging out with this particular group of people going to be something that is going to be good for me or bad for me? And I think that we've suffered in terms of that with the kind of wrong crews that we just decided to run with. So it's stuff like this. That's the reason why we had this particular discussion, is to see, hey, you know what? When you're making decisions, don't go straight into it. You've got to take a look, step back and be like, that step back and is something that we're just trying to help you make. Because again, speaking from my experience, I'm sure Matt, you can also testify to this. There are a lot of decisions that we did not count the cost with, and it's something that we're suffering for severely now. Yep. Finance-wise is a huge thing. Even spiritual things, because I did not count the cost of not going to church. There's a lot of time that I lost, and I'll be the first to admit that. I've mentioned that to everybody, that there's now, were there good experiences? Were there a lot of things still? There was God still gracious in that? Absolutely. But I think of the loss, because here's the thing: if you don't count the cost, eventually you will, but it'll be too late in terms of that.
P.S. I just want to say I wasn't nitpicking, so. I'm messing with you.
I wasn't nitpicking. Look at me. I'm nitpicking.
I wasn't nitpicking, though.
Nitpicking.
Why are you getting so offended over here, brother?
Nitpicking.
I don't know why you're doing it. All right.
No, again, it's not nitpicking. It's just
okay. No. We got. Okay, hold on. Before we end the show, it kind of was nitpicking. You went to a restaurant, then to video games, then to movie theaters. Just like, brother, just like
that's not nitpicking. That's not nitpicking. Nitpicking is like saying, "Oh, do this." It's just like, it's the basic things that we do all the time, but we're not thinking about the particular things. That's not nitpicking. You guys be the judge. If I was nitpicking in terms of certain things, post it. Like, subscribe, post it. Put it in the comment section that you were nitpicking. Bring it on, man. Because this is a brand new show. You can nitpick me. I can take it. Nitpick all you want. Nitpicking.
Okay. On that note, like we always like to say,
we don't know you. And again, we did this because of this. We don't know you, but we love you. And there is a God above that does. I'm Nitpicking PB.
And I'm Cashew.
Peace out, PB Cashewville.